Yo, what is going on, guys? I wanted to go ahead and drop a video explaining what I'm doing defensively. Now, this might end up on YouTube. This might go out just to my Discord. It might end up on the website. Who knows where it's going to end up. But I wanted to go ahead and record this because today we got hit with knowledge that EA is planning on patching basically our defense. The defense that Lights came up with and has put out yesterday, and 24 hours later, EA felt the need to potentially patch some of the setups. Now, as that defense gets out, right, there's going to be a lot more things that come out with it. I'm sure a lot of different things will end up on YouTube. A lot of setups will end up, basically on all these other tip sites that are out there. And you guys will be able to catch it from either labbing or playing games. Like, there's going to be ways for you guys to see it. Now, with that knowledge, the defensive ebook that dropped from Lights was absolutely phenomenal. Lights did a perfect job with the defense. And unfortunately, with defensive ebooks, especially game-breaking ones like that, they do tend to get patched, or at least attempted to be patched. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and give out the way that I personally am actually playing when I'm playing these money games, or when I'm playing, just games in general off stream. I'm running this defensive scheme, I should say, because it's a couple different plays, and ultimately it was one of those things that I was kind of going to keep. I was kind of going to keep this for myself for when I was able to grind the leaderboard, because I am going to try to play competitive this year. And with the news that they might be patching the game, it theoretically could end up patching some of these defenses. So I'm going to go ahead and just give them out. Give them out to the Discord, the YouTube, the website, wherever they end up, I'm giving these out. Now, one of the things that I always pride myself on is being different defensively. I can use the same type of concepts that are out there and morph it to fit how I actually like to play. Now, I did exactly that. As you guys can see, I am in the Patriots defensive playbook. I use that for 3-4 even, 3-4 bear, 4-3, even 6-1. I like 3-3-5 odd, and I like dime 2-3-6. Now, I will run 1-4-6 for the cover one robber. However, that's really the only thing that I use for that. So when I'm playing, I like being blitz heavy. Now, let me go ahead and just show you how this works, right? Because a lot of these concepts are going to get out, right? One of them has already made its way to EA, and they've worked on a patch. So whether or not these blitzes work 10, 11 days from now is a whole nother story than it is right now. Right now, these defenses, I promise you, are going to extremely help your game. Now, getting into it, we're just going to come out in corner strike. Nobody's blocking to start, and then we'll move on from there. So nickel 3-3-5 odd. You know what? Scratch that. Let's go into the 2-3-6, because anybody that's familiar with me knows that I absolutely love 2-3-6 defense, and this is something that me and a buddy of mine, Josh, Jay the Truth, found last night, maybe the night before. I'm losing track of my days at this point. But basically, the way that this works is we're going to be able to run cover one LB Blitz. For those of you that have followed me, you know that this defense was basically my defense that I claimed in the last 4 years. Like, it was so good, I had an emote for my Twitch channel made of it. Like, I ran this every play, didn't care what you came out in. This is what I ran. Now, I was using this again, and let me go ahead and show you how this works, right? So this is going to be cover one LB Blitz. What you want to do, you want to spread your linebackers, crash your defensive line to the left. You want to zone out both of your outside linebackers, put them into purples, and then QB contain. Now, when you do this, you can press this safety that's made up on the running back. You can go into whatever you want. I typically put him as the deep responsibility, allowing me to lurk underneath. This was my base defense out of this. And the reason for it, as you can see, is you get amazing sheds. This one theoretically does come A-gap. Now, I'm going to go to the instant replay and show you how this works. So, pay attention to this defensive tackle. You'll see he loops in and comes in completely untouched and unguarded. Now, there will be times where he will just sprint straight at the quarterback. Sometimes he does. More times than not in game, he'll go right after the quarterback. However, right here in practice mode, and a couple times in game, he will go back and loop into his containment. Now, he will still come in, as you see. Like, he's past everybody and then ultimately trips. But as you can see, we're getting A-gap heat. And the key to this, though, is we're also isolating Fletcher Cox. I play with the Eagles, and him being isolated, as you can see, is just brutal for the offensive line. They can never hold him. So this three-man rush, we're typically getting one person to come in completely untouched, and we're isolating another guy to where he's going to constantly beat his blocking assignment. So I'm going to run this just a couple more times, and then we're going to move on. This really is all that there is to it. There's nothing different to this than what I'm showing you. So as you can see right here, we're good to go. Simple three-man rush. And as you see, he's going to loop in and come try to sack Cam Newton. Now, Cam is able to get the pass off, but as you can see, three-man rush comes in A-gap, and it comes in clean. A lot of the shed defenses that you'll see, they're just pinching down, containing, and hoping for the best. This one, this is the animation you're going to get 90% of the time, where this dude just comes in, loops right inside the guard, and then it's up to him whether or not he goes back into containment or if he sprints straight at the quarterback. I will say this. If you use a slower player, they tend to go directly after the quarterback. Like Josh Sweat right here is a little bit too fast, and I think that's why he's actually going on the containment. Although, like I said, this is more of a practice thing than it is in game, because in game he will come in, pretty much go directly after the quarterback. Now, that's it, right? I don't do anything different to this setup. I will adjust my coverage shell behind it, but ultimately that is it. It's a three-man rush, and that's what we're rolling with. Now, if you really want to make this just that much more consistent to the point where you know it's going to come in, let me go ahead and just show you how to do that real quick. You're going to do the same exact setup right here. Now, the only difference is you're going to take this linebacker right here and move him out and leave him blitzing. So it becomes a four-man rush. But when you do that, now what happens is, as you see, you get basically everybody to loop into the gap. So I'm going to go to the instant replay, show you once again how this works, and then we'll move on to the other defenses. So you see right off the bat, he's going to loop into the gap to where he doesn't get blocked, just like he was doing. Now, the fact that we've got this guy blitzing out here, along with the containment by this linebacker, will force a pass-off to this defensive tackle. Now, this is Fletcher Cox. It's not exactly somebody that's fast, but as you see, he basically gets passed off until he comes in free. Now, what will happen is if he does get blocked, and he gets blocked well, then this linebacker will shoot in through that B gap untouched. So essentially we're getting two people to come in through the B gap, only rushing four people. Here, they pass everybody off. We end up getting three people at the quarterback. Really four. Now, that is 2-3-6. 2-3-6 you really can't run all the time because people will audible down. They'll use two tight end sets. They'll use two running back sets. They're not going to let you sit in 2-3-6 all game long, especially once you start sending the heat at them like you guys see right there. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll go down to 3-3-5 odd. Now, 3-3-5 odd to me is one of my favorite defenses, and it is because of the crossfire. The LB cross 3 show 2. So right off the bat, we're going to come in, show you how this works. Now, you want, once again, fast defensive ends. If you only have one fast end, you'll want to put him on this left of screen spot. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. LB cross. We're going to go ahead and come out in same thing. Now, what you want to do is you want to pinch your defensive line, crash them to the right, QB contain, and then this linebacker right here, you can put into a purple. So this is my just generic coverage setup. This is a 5-man rush by default, right? You can press if you want, but you don't have to. But what you'll see happen here is you'll see that this defensive end on the left basically will come in free almost every single time. Now Cam is being amazing and he's just shedding him off, but I'm going to show you how this works. This is a defense that I feel like this will definitely get patched. And it's because of the fact that because of the containment by this end rushing inward and the blitzing linebacker on this side, they will almost always pass off this defensive end, which allows him essentially to come in free, as you guys see. And when he comes in like this, it's pretty much directly at the quarterback. There's no hesitation, there's no wait, and it's really difficult to pick up because the running backs, they just don't really react well to contains. So we're going to go ahead and set it up the exact same way. We're set up. This guy goes into the purple. It's, again, 5-man rush. And as you guys will see right here, linebacker or defensive end that we have over there is coming in free. Now, you may think, well, 2-3-6 gets 2 people free. Why would you ever use this to get the same type of pressure? And truthfully, it's because of the fact that I can adjust really well out of this, and it's a zone coverage. So as you guys can see right here, if I wanted to go ahead and zone this guy out, I could. If I wanted to go ahead and zone this guy out, I could. So this becomes a 4-man rush, which will still get really good sheds, or I could send up to 6 people and guarantee that I get 2 free. All right, so let's move along into the final defense that I really like. And this is going to be, this was really the defense that I was saving. I wasn't really showing anybody. And it's going to be the Buck SS3. Now, Buck SS3 at a 3-4 bear is probably my favorite blitz in the game. Let me rephrase that. It is 100% my favorite blitz in the game. And the reason for it is because of the fact that we can generate just a stupid amount of pressure. So let me go ahead and show you how this works, and we'll set it up. So we're going to come out, once again, same old thing. Now, to set this up, you want to press your coverage. You want to pinch your linebackers, crash your defensive line down, and QB contain. So it's going to be a 4-man rush. This safety, we put into whatever adjustment we want. I always lurk on the free safety. Just a habit. You could lurk, honestly, on the free safety or this guy over here. It doesn't really matter. I go ahead and lurk on this guy, but as you'll see what happens, this linebacker comes looping in untouched every single rip. Now, I don't know what's gotten into Cam. Cam simply just won't be tackled, but I'm going to go to the instant replay and show you how this works. So unlike some of the other containment blitzes that are out there where they tend to come in a lot of times, but a lot of times they rely upon bouncing off of players, as you see, this one just comes flying through the B-gap. And that's huge, right? Because there's not going to be that fluke element to it. And obviously, the better, the faster this linebacker is, the more likely you're going to have it just absolutely coming in, screaming at your opponent. Now, I also like it because of the coverage. As you can see with the coverage, right? Nope, I messed it up. So as you can see with the coverage, it's just really a crazy coverage shell. Like, it's your stock cover 3, but you've got seam flats and a 3-rec, as opposed to having, better zones out there. But as you guys can see, that linebacker tends to just come in completely untouched. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how to scream at the running back block. As you saw, that the running back block right there slowed it down. So if we wanted to just go ahead and super scream at our opponent, we're going to do the same exact thing, but now we're going to blitz this linebacker right here, then we're going to crash down, then we're going to contain. So we're going to have 2 linebackers shooting through the B-gaps, and as you guys will see, there's basically just nothing that a blocked running back can do to stop you from screaming.